know you're good to go.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May the 5th, 2020. The Board of Supervisors of the County of Del Norte and the governing body of all of the special assessment and taxing districts for which said board so acts is now meeting in special session. Only those items that indicate a specific time will be heard at the assigned times. All other items may be taken out of sequence to accommodate the public and staff availability. Okay, so we are going to start with roll call. Kylie?
Supervisor Howard?
Yes.
Supervisor Cowan?
Here.
Supervisor Gitlin?
Yes.
Supervisor Berkowitz?
Here.
And Chair Hemmingson.
Here. Now we're going to take just a moment of reflection. And now Supervisor Cowan, if you will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Chairman. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How'd that sound, Kylie?
Sounded fine?
Okay, we're going to start off with public comment. Kylie, do you have any written public comment?
I have three.
Okay.
The first one is from a Roger A. Vance, and it's more of, it says, would it be feasible to set up a field hospital on Pelican Bay State Prison grounds to assist with an outbreak? That was the first comment. And then we have another one from a Barbara Ramirez. And it says, it is illegal to pass any laws that are contrary to our U.S. Constitution and allows for no laws that are contrary to or restrict the rights provided for in the Constitution. Please watch and share this urgent alert to all U.S. sheriffs. And it's a link to a YouTube video. If anybody wants the link, they can reach out to me after the meeting and I will send that. And I have another one from Thomas Barnes. This one's kind of long, so bear with me. It says, I ask you to seriously consider what you are doing to our business community and our community in general. With regards to COVID-19, Del Norte County has had no deaths, 3 cases, none required hospitalization, and none on ventilators. You say that this is because of social distancing and shelter in place. If this were true, then the homeless population in this country, approximately 4 million in the US, would be decimated and the incidence of COVID-19 cases and deaths would be astronomical, which they are not. You rely on data from the CDC. The data is suspect and flawed. They are not required to test for CV when they report a death. They only have to certify that the symptoms are consistent with CV. Can only be a cough, and for this, they receive a 20% premium for their service. To my knowledge, all of our local leaders are receiving a paycheck during this panic, and that is what this is, panic. You, the leaders, are making life and death decisions for our local small businesses, the group that does not have a guaranteed paycheck, but instead rely on profits from their businesses to survive, which your actions have effectively stopped. You are killing your community, and for what? 3 confirmed cases in this county, none required hospitalization and none required ventilators. You have had more cases of bad colds and the flu than you have CV. You are the community leaders. Look at this rationally. Look at the damage you are doing to your community. Look at the bad data from the CDC that you rely on. Look at the fact that we are not San Francisco, LA, or Sacramento. Do your job and reopen the business community before there is no business community to reopen. Develop a plan that allows businesses to open and survive. Communities are reopening all around you. Their leaders understand the impact and the lasting damage their decisions have. They are talking with Newsom's office, making a case for their rural communities and developing a plan to reopen. What have you done? Where is your plan? Look at the unrest and panic that is being caused by this. It is your job to quell the panic and reopen your community. It is deadly to this community when you have a BOS member go on television and state that he was horrified that a business would open. Horrified at what? Horrified that 30 to 40 healthy people over a 2-day period try to support a struggling business that has bills to pay with no income. This is unnecessary inflammatory statement that is typical of the way this Board of Supervisors treats Roger Gillen, who is trying to do something for this community, like clean up the filth. Take a bite out of Blight. How many of you have I seen this? Excuse me. Take a bite out of Blight. How many of you have I seen at his cleanup days? And support local businesses, which are the lifeblood of this community. All you are doing is adding to the feeding, the frenzy, adding to the panic. This will not end well. And that's it for written public.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other public comment?
Give me a sec. I am seeing one.
Okay.
And I am unable to unmute her mic. So IT, if you're out there, could you please unmute Patricia Black's mic? Patricia, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, you're good to go.
Okay, thanks. So this is Patricia Black. I am, for the record, over 65 and a diabetic. And I want to thank the city and the county for putting together that really great forum last night in which we heard Dr. Ray Walt's very thoughtful analysis of what we need to do to keep us safe as a community. I'm not really sure what that urgency of sending these letters is, since it appears that Governor Newsom is actually working to safely reopen. I personally love walking to the beach, which is only a few blocks from my house, and I'm really grateful if your advocacy kept our beaches open. But I'm also concerned about what an influx of tourists might do. I hope you heard what Dr. Raywalt said last night about the importance of keeping us safe as a community. Perhaps it's selfish to value my life and the lives of those I love over the economy, because the quote economy in real life is my neighbor's livelihood. And yet, if we open wide up and everyone gets sick at once, what will happen to the economy? That's why I hope the tone of these letters will be one of gratitude for keeping us safe and working with us. Keeping us safe. For example, safe reopening may mean restaurants continue takeout only. It certainly doesn't mean crowding into a small room and breathing on each other. This isn't about posturing to show how tough and fearless we are. It's about showing love for our neighbors and the most vulnerable among us. About realizing we are quite literally our brothers and sisters keepers, and that our actions have the power to keep our community safe, or not. We're looking to you, our leaders, to lead the way, and I know it isn't easy. It's very difficult to balance these conflicting needs and interests, and I appreciate so much those of you who are working so hard at this. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment?
I am not seeing any at this time.
Okay, so we will close the public comment period and move on to our agenda item number 4, which is to approve and authorize the chair to sign the letter addressed to the California Natural Resources Agency. And it should be Secretary Crowfoot. He is not a director. I believe he's the Secretary of Natural Resources. Supervisor Howard?
Thank you. I don't likely need to go into great lengths on this. We've discussed in 2 previous board meetings. And at this time, I'd make the motion to approve the letter to Secretary Crowfoot, CCing Senator McGuire, and in addition, Director of Parks, Lisa Margot.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this item?
I am not seeing any at this time.
Okay, so in that case, we will bring it back to the board. Any further comments or questions? Kylie, would you poll the vote, please?
Supervisor Gitlin?
Yes.
Supervisor Berkowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Cowan?
Yes.
Supervisor Howard?
Yes.
Chair Hemmingson?
Yes. And now we're going to move on to item number 5, which is to approve and authorize the chair to sign and forward letters to the Speaker, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, urging them to support ensuring all small local governments, including Delaware County, receive direct federal payments. Supervisor Howard. You want to speak to
Certainly,
it?
and Jay could also speak to this most likely. The both CSAC and RCRC have been trying to rally counties and cities within the state of California to press Congress, both in the Senate and in the legislature, to move forward with ways to get the counties and cities direct funding, so it wouldn't have to be passed down through the state. As you're aware, a lot of the COVID relief packages have come directly to businesses, which are in dire need of that funding. But the counties are also suffering too. And it is our intent through these lobbying pushes through both the Senate and the legislature to move forward with direct funding to counties where the state wouldn't have administrative oversight into those payments. Our hope is to lobby for about 1.1 billion that would come into the state to help backfill the county coffers at this point. That's the substance of the letter. Jay, if you want to add additional to that, you're certainly welcome to.
Just a little bit. We have been working with our federal lobby for quite a bit of time, trying to get everybody on the same page for those counties and cities actually below a population of 500,000 in regarding to the direct stimulus package. Yes, we are in the same boat as those larger cities and counties in regards to losses of revenue. And our budget is going to reflect that as we go forward. Right now, there is a bipartisan effort to bring forward legislation. We have not yet been able to make direct contact with the speaker and the minority leader. We have sent dear colleague letters to our lobbyists to Republican leaders, and these would be a follow-up in regards to the legislation that has been proposed at this point in the Senate. So we're canvassing basically everybody to get our view out there. We are not alone. And like I said, right now there is talk of bipartisan legislation that will come forward possibly as early as next week for a vote. And if that happens, that could assist us to hopefully go forward in the future with trying to balance budgets and deal with some of these losses that are certainly going to affect us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Can I get a motion?
I'd make that motion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any public comment on this item?
I do. Norma, can you hear us? Norma, can you hear us? IT, if you're there, could you please unmute her?
She is unmuted.
Okay. Norma, are you there? I'm not sure if she meant to raise her hand, but I'm not hearing anything.
I'm not hearing anything as well.
Her mic is unmuted. Either she's having issues on her side or she didn't mean to. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Other
Council?
than that one, I'm not seeing any others.
Can we move forward?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, if she can't speak, we can maybe give her another 30 seconds to call
Okay.
in if she wants to.
Okay, Norma, if you've got the capabilities of, can they get a text message or a chat message through Dan? Is that a possibility?
It would, yes, but it would take me about a minute here.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, we'll give her about 30 seconds if she can come up with a way of getting her device to work. Okay, Norma, I apologize. I don't know what the issue is, but it appears to be on your end, not on ours. We're going to move forward. Kylie, could you poll the vote, please?
Could we have some discussion on other board members, Mr. Chairman?
Sure, Supervisor Gittman, why don't you enlighten us?
Thank you. First of all, if we were to write such a letter, and it looks like there's two letters here, the second letter should be addressed to Senate Majority Leader McConnell, who actually has the power in the Senate to move this legislation forward. So I'm not quite sure why a letter went to the minority leader in this case, but though I certainly do not want to see our county enter into the area of layoffs and cutback of services, I'm troubled by this motion in how it impacts on our county and our state and the rest of the country. Borrowed capital is and should be our last resort. There are interventions which we as a county can certainly engage in before we move to the bailout process. And that's apparently what we've gone right to the bailout of looking for some kind of assistance down the road. So HR 5467 is at this time an empty bill. It has no specifics in it. I think our decision to move forward on this is a bit premature. A lot of moving parts here with our state and lots of movement going on, and the possibility of increasing revenue would be realized in a short period of time based on what I'm seeing Governor Newsom and his folks tell us as we're moving forward. So I'd like to see us wait and hold off on this letter until we have some clarity down the road, perhaps 2 weeks.
Any other board members have anything to comment on? Kylie, would you poll the vote, please?
Supervisor Berkowitz,
Yes.
Supervisor Gitlin,
No.
Supervisor Cowan,
Yes.
Supervisor Howard,
Yes.
Chair Hemmingson.
Yes. Okay, we are going on to item number 6, which is to discuss and direct staff to send a letter to other small rural counties requesting them to send a letter to Governor trying to open rural counties in a safe way as requested by Supervisor Berkowitz. Supervisor Berkowitz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In view of the fact that the governor will be moving to phase 2 for opening up the state this Friday and giving more authority to the rural county health officers to open up restaurants and other kinds of things in rural areas, I'm going to request that we pull this item number 6, from the agenda.
Okay, pulled. Done. Okay, we're going to move on from open session. We're going to move into closed session. I'm going to have council person Cable explain part of the closed session, and then I'll ask for public comment. Elizabeth?
So in accordance with the Brown Act, we are having a discussion closed session regarding a conference real property negotiation pursuant to Government Code 54956.8. The property is the airport. APN 101-010-017-000. Agency negotiator will be J. Serena. Negotiating parties, County J. Serena, Bacra, Randy Hooper, and under negotiation, terms of lease extension, including price and payment.
Thank you. Is there any public comment on closed session items?
Chair Amundson, I would like to remind the people that are using Zoom, if you're dialed in, you can press *9 on your phone and the raise hand button will come up if you do *9. I'm not sure if maybe Norma tried to dial in and wasn't able to do that earlier.
And what is there a mute? There's a mute function, isn't there? When you dial in, is it *6 or something? Is that right?
*6 will unmute, but they'll have to do *9 at first to signify us that they want to speak. There's a couple people that phoned in, but it does not look like they want to speak at this moment.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we do have one. Hold on.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Norma.
Hi, Norma.
I wasn't aware of the *9 feature. I do apologize for that. Is it okay if I know that you were going to go into closed session. Is it okay if I add my comment now, or should I just send it to you via email?
You commented on the item number 5. Is that what you were commenting on?
I think it was number 4, the letters to Pelosi and Schumer, which you already approved.
Yes, it's already been approved. That's item number 5.
5, sorry.
But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead with your comments. We'll take your comments now.
Oh, I deeply appreciate that. As you know, my name is Norma Williams, chapter president of DNCEA SEIU 1021. I read the attached letters to Pelosi and Schumer. I also read proposed HR 6467. On behalf of the chapter, I stand in support of the county's position in letters to Speaker Pelosi and Minority Leader Schumer. I submitted a request to SEIU Local 1021 and SEIU International to also lobby our representatives in the federal government in support of counties nationwide with populations of less than 500,000 and advocate for specific funding in any future stimulus package along with eventual passage of HR 6467. Strongly advocating for direct stimulus relief today will save and ensure county jobs and services tomorrow. I thank you.
Thank you, Norma. Sorry that we had issue with technical issues before. Okay, so we're going to move on to closed session. We will open session is going to adjourn, and we are going to go to closed session. Thank you very much.
If you give me about 2 minutes, I'll get the closed session up.
Thank you.